Okay, let's do these EDEL summons before her banner disappears in 2 days. I have more than enough employment contracts to pity her, although kinda don't want to, but if I do, maybe we'll get some good SSRs along the way. Just an SR on the first 10.
아르바이트를 구하신다면서요.
라이언 페리어.
Oh, Ryan Ferrier!
편하신
The
대로
first dude's
불러주십시오.
pretty good as well.
앞으로
Alright.
이 주먹은
The
당신을
rest
위해
are
쓰겠습니다.
all rares. Alright, not a bad first pull. 2 SRs, and they're both pretty good. I'll be raising both of them in the future. Let's go next 10. Oh! SSR! Wow. Wow! We got her in 20 pulls! Oh my god.
고마워요.
Okay, my RNG has just been on point in counter side recently. I got Yomina in 18 summons, and now I got Adele in 20 summons. That's pretty good. Wow. That saves me a lot of employment contracts.
이 회사 데이터베이스를 열어보니까
Add a Sylvia on top of that.
흥미롭더라고.
Not bad. Wow, 20 pulls for Adele. Huh. Okay, so since I don't want to make another 2 to 3 minute counter side video, we're gonna go over her skills and see what Adele actually does. Okay, so basic attack, pretty self-explanatory. It's just her auto attack essentially, 3 valid hits. Let's take a look at her passive. Summons mysterious beings and inflicts 40% more damage on corrupted objects and soldiers. Oh, so she is a counter to the soldier comp, or soldier teams, I'm guessing, due to this passive. And I think corrupted objects are just those creatures you fight in the stages for PvE, so I'm assuming this is good for countering soldier teams and her use in PvE, I guess. All her attacks debuff targets for 12 seconds. Okay, not bad. 12-second debuff, 40% more damage. And debuff targets summon up to 5 creatures in place upon their death. Oh! So she spawns more of these creatures as you kill the targets that are deep. Wow, that is a very unique passive slash skill. I don't think we have something like this in counter side yet, but okay, so she's like a summoner type. That's pretty good. If you level it up, it increases the damage to soldier and corrupted objects, okay, by 10%. Twice, and then 40%. So it's a total of 80% more damage to soldiers and corrupted objects. That's pretty strong. Level 5, her and her summonings damage taken minus... Wow, and you get a damage reduction to herself and her creatures, so she gets tankier and does more damage. This passive is really, really strong for certain situations, like soldier and corrupted objects. That's pretty good. I can see why people like using Adele now. Let's take a look at her special skill, Black Lotus. Summons a massive gaping mouth. Okay. Alright, Gabe. Summons a massive gaping mouth. I don't need a picture of that. Inflicting AoE damage on and around the farthest target. Okay, so this hits the back. Hits the back line, basically, within range. Or it could hit the back line. I don't know the actual range for this, but it's telling me that it hits the back, so it's not a frontal attack. Also cancels barriers around the enemies to inflict damage. Oh, so you have a barrier negator on her special skill. I don't know if this cancels certain barriers like Ahilde's passive barrier and like... I don't know. I don't know that many barriers off the top of my head, but seems pretty useful. It seems pretty useful. This is good for hitting, like I said, this is going to hit the back line while removing the barriers, so it'll make the opponent's back line a lot squishier, so I think it's not a bad special skill. It definitely has its uses. If you level it up, damage improved, and CDR, of course, reduced by 4 seconds. Alright, and her ultimate, Unspeakable One. It's a minute 65 seconds cooldown, so it's pretty long cooldown, honestly. Releases inner beings, inflicting AoE damage on enemies in the front. Okay, so like, unlike her special skill, this one hits the front. So this is going to be hitting the front line instead. The enemies lose 30% of hit for 12 seconds. I don't really like her ultimate, the way it's put up, because hit usually is really high on your back line, the opponent's back line, because they're going to be putting their snipers and rangers in the back, right? And those units usually have higher hit, especially the sniper units. So if this were to hit the back line instead and cause the enemies in the back to lose 30% of their hit, this would be a really, really good ultimate. But just based off of this text, reducing hit on the front line, I mean, there are some strikers that do hit pretty hard and might have above average hit stats, but the hit debuff doesn't really do much, honestly, in my opinion, if it's only going to hit enemies in the front. And the cooldown doesn't justify it. So unless it has like some really high damage ratio, I'd say her ultimate is, it's eh. It's just eh. Not that great. Damage, and then level 5 debuff. Okay! There you go! That's what I'm looking for. If it's an ability that's going to hit the front line, it needs to have either a defense debuff, a increased incoming damage debuff, or a evasion debuff. So when you get her ultimate to level 5, debuff also decreases enemies' evasion by 30%. That is what you're looking for on a frontal attack. So okay, if you get her ultimate to level 5, which you should eventually, it is not too bad. It's decent because it has an evasion debuff as well. Granted, it's still about a minute. It's a minute 5-second cooldown, so still pretty long cooldown. You might have to run some CDR set gear to reduce it in order to make it a little bit more viable. But based on my analysis, I think... Oh, no, it's not I think. It's literally her best skill is her passive. Her passive is absolutely insane, especially against soldiers and corrupted objects. So when you use her in PvP against a soldier comp, or if you're doing a certain challenge or like hard stage with corrupted objects, she is a must bring, because this passive not only causes 80% increased damage, it also reduces damage for her and her summonings. So, by far, if you're going to level 1 skill up first, it's going to be her passive. And then, probably her skill 3. It's not bad. It's on a low cooldown. The reason why I say you should level this up is because it's on a lower cooldown, and it reduces the cooldown too on the final stat, and it hits the back line. And the barrier removal actually is pretty decent. I think it's a decent skill. It's not bad. And then third will be her ultimate. Her ultimate really is, in my opinion, lackluster until you get it to level 5. Then it becomes worth the 65-second cooldown. And last but not least, if you have enough skill books, you can level up her auto attack. That's usually the last priority. Alright, not bad. Not a bad unit. I like her. Alright guys, well that's going to be it for this counter side video. Got super lucky, was not expecting to pull EDEL in 20 pulls after getting so much luck on the Yomina banner. That probably means I'm going to pity the next Awakening or whatever banner I decide to pull on, but that's okay. Luck goes both ways, like I said. And if you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next counter side video. Peace!